Hi everyone, welcome back to Couch and English. And today we are dealing with the elegy written in a country churchyard. And in this video, I'm going to explain the structure and the background of this elegy. So let's go into it. So elegy written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray. The age of the poetry, early 18th century poetry. It's a pre-romantic poem. The age of early 18th century was under the rule of King William III. There were two political parts at the parliament. They were against each other, and the part of construes and the part of the right. The part of the construes was with the Catholic King James II, while the right part made a revelation in the year 1688 and took off the king. By the William III, when who was the Prince of Holland, became the King of England. In the year 1707, Scotland and England made a union to see or to have we call the Great Britain. In 1759, there was a war called Seven-Year War. The general of this war have recited to his officers from Gray's elegy written in the country churchyard. Although of the Union, both of Scotland and England became separated in legal institutions and the national church. With this age, we see the industrial revolution which get out the middle class. Also emerge the building of railway stations. Also, we see the rise of the novel on the hands of Daniel Defoe through his novel Robinson Crusoe and on the hands of Swift on his novel Gulliver Travels. The neoclassical school was in, and a lot of people read to Pope and Dryden, but we see a group of poets who turned away from the bride. Theo Table chose death for his subject. They were known as the churchyard school for poets. The poets of the school are Edward Young and his poem Night Thoughts written in good blank verse. Robert Blair and his poem The Grave. Thomas Gray, his elegy written in a country churchyard. They speak about death and graves. The graveyard school, it started in 1740 till the end of 18th century. It was a movement is known by a pre-romantic movement. They write about death, mortality, religion, and melancholy. The school is important as its links between the Augustan age and the Romantic school. Also speaks about nature. Now let us discuss about the characteristics of the graveyard school. Their theme about death, mortality, religion, and melancholy. The setting of their poem is in the graveyard. Their imagery is gloomy, funeral, images of night. The tone is melancholic, elegiac, personal, and somber. Their main interests are by simple, ordinary, common people. They helped poets in the development of the Gothic novel. Now let us discuss about Thomas Gray and his life, his work, his achievement. The setting of the poetry countryside, end of a day, and the graveyard. The poem is an elegy but has the structure of an ode. This elegy is lyric rather than narrative. It has a pastoral form when he mentions shepherds, farmers, etc. The poem is 32 stanza. Every stanza has four lines, quatrain. It is often referred as a heroic quatrain. So the poem has 32 stanza and every stanza has four lines. The rhyme scheme is regular A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, etc. Iambic pentameter. The elegy in English is lyrical lamentation of the death of a close friend or relative. Elegy is known in Greek and Latin poetry. It treats with a variety of topics. The occasion, the poem is written in the death of Richard West. Okay, it can be a question for examination. The poem is written in the death of Richard West, Gray's best friend. He laments his death as he has been killed. The poem is translated into Latin and Greek. It is one of the most popular and most frequently quoted poem in English language. The structure, when we are talking about the structure, first, the poem is divided into two parts. The first part is representing by the poet himself about death, and the second part is the search of yourself. The structure is linked between neoclassical and pre-romantic age. So here is the poem. This can be a question. The first line of the poem. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. The lowing herd wind slowly over the lea. So just have a look at this. The epitaph and the tone of the poetry, it is personal as the poet refers to himself by using me. And the language, it is so simple, everyday language. The words comes with occasion of death and mourning. Title, Mortality of a Man versus Immortality of Nature. Theme, as I mentioned in the beginning, death, mortality, melancholy, the search of yourself, the conflict of social classes, the main idea, the end of life and searching about oneself, to immortalize his sincerity to his friends Richard West. So that's all about today, and the detailed summary will be coming in the next video.